Yo, Rashid and Symone from Ready to Love. It seems like they have broken off their engagement, and Rashid has confessed all his sins, honey. All his sins.
Yes.
Right? How can you have both? Well, the tragedy is that me and Symone just broke up and called off our wedding.
But it's Mary.
And Amma.
Maybe you guys will like
and subscribe
and comment down below, y'all, because today we're going to get right into it. Rashid posted a video on YouTube,
Yes.
I think called his confessions or something.
Yes.
And he admitted to being as broke as a joke, having Porsches, watches, things he can't afford.
Yeah.
Apparently he can't afford child support. He said he's a liar, he's a manipulator, he's a narcissist. He even told Denise that you are right about me. He can't afford the wedding. Seems like Symone has
he can't afford
kicked
his
rocks
part of the
wedding.
And Symone talked about it. She said that I think his part of was something like 10,000, or I think their part was 10. Maybe he had to pay like half of that, and he just was unable to come up with his part. Even if it was 10,000, let's just say it was 10,000, he had to come up with. You're doing a wedding.
He said he can't even afford child support.
You should be able to come up with at least 10,000. That's not that much money to come up with.
It sounds like he's on the verge of bankruptcy. That's what it sounds like to me. So 10,000 would be a lot for him.
Well, Symone said when she met him, he had told her, in fact, when they went on their date, behind that truck, he had told her about his problems learning, that he was one of those, I guess in one of those special needs classes, because he had, issues with learning and stuff like that. And she said she was fine with all of that. When they started getting together, he told her all of his debts that he had. Now, she did say prior she had actually investigated him, because she is a PI herself. She is a private investigator herself. And of course, we know that she's an attorney.
Oh, sure, he's suspected.
So she had investigated him. She had seen that while the deed of the house was in his name as a co-owner, she was like, but then the taxes, I guess, was not in his name. And so she knew that, okay, well, his mom is the one. And he said his house and his car are in his mom's name.
And his credit score is 500.
And it's so irresponsible, because now you're messing up your mom's credit. You know what I'm saying? So now he's on this verge of he has to sell his house, I guess sell the cars, and the things that he will do, it just made no sense. It's like Symone went out of her way. She looked at all the debts he had. Some of the debts she was able to help to get rid of. She went to court, just to make sure that, she did all the things like a good woman will, with her background that she had, to make sure that she could get his debts to some kind of payment that he's going to be able to pay on his own, just as long as he doesn't take on any new debt or any new loans. But as soon as he got comfortable, he went and did that. So it's like he takes out another debt, gets someone else, I guess, to co-sign for him.
Yeah.
And he took out a loan of another $100,000. And then what did he do? He goes to buy more cars that he will rent out. Like, he's always doing these different schemes, always has a new thing to do. He's kind of like a gambler. You know what I'm saying? I have money right here. I have 100,000 right here. Instead of you taking that 100,000 and go pay your bills, nope. I'm going to come and gamble it so I can have more money. But then you end up losing the whole 100,000.
Yeah.
So that's how he sounded to me. And while I really appreciated him coming out and saying all the things he did, saying that 90% of his relationship with his wife, he's taking the blame of that, because he did that to his ex-wife too. And as time went on, she just lost respect for him, because he put their home in jeopardy.
So he probably was taking out mortgages.
Yes. maybe without her consent, and or take out like a second mortgage or something, and then when you don't fulfill that loan you took out, what ends up happening is you will lose your house. Or if you put your house up for a loan, right, as collateral for this loan that you're going to take out, then when you don't pay,
you homeless.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just those things. And while he says, I want to be a provider, I want to be a protector, that's not providing, that's not protecting your wife. But my thing was when he said something to the effect of, I want my son, one day he's going to see this. I want him not to live a life of trying to fulfill other people's expectations,
and that
whatever.
His son is free posting this YouTube.
I just felt like it was just giving me
if I'm Symone,
let me tell you, Rashid, any relationship you are in, there's going to be expectations. Even with your son, parents expect their children to be obedient. Parents expect their children to be honest with them. When you go to work, there's an expectation. There's an expectation in every relationship. Even as a citizen, there's an expectation that you conduct yourself in a lawful manner. There's always going to be expectations. So when you say, I want to grow with no expectations and this and that, it's almost as if you feel as though these expectations are a burden. So to me, it did not seem genuine, because it's like he was saying all this stuff, but then the under subtlety, it was almost as if he was trying to say, Symone, there were too many expectations on him, because he had the nerve to say something like, I had to tell her I can't afford this wedding. And then when you hear Symone, she's saying the wedding was going to be, he was going for a wedding that was going to be even more expensive. And she's the one who brought down the budget. We shouldn't have to spend this much money on a wedding.
So that's that
and the fact
stuff.
that he was trying to make it seem like I can't afford this wedding, as though she wanted some huge wedding, which was not true. So even though he had this whole little spiel that he gave for almost 2 hours, there was some undercurrent of untruths there. Because what she required from him was this. Okay, this is the budget that we have agreed for the wedding, right? Her parents were going to do 1/3, because they are grown, both her and Rashid. So they were going to pay for 1/3 of the wedding. And then she and Rashid were also going to pay for the 1/3. And then Rashid, everyone comes up with their part except him. So they had to reschedule the wedding twice. And he always failed. And even when she'll tell him, so you're going to have this. And it wasn't as if he gives her notice. He waits until the very last minute to say, by the way, I cannot come up with my own portion again. Come on, man. So, and then the other thing that I didn't like when he says, first of all, when he says he's a narcissist and all this stuff, and I saw people in the comments, you're not a narcissist. But then you say, first of all, I need to apologize first to Denise. Huh? I will think that you'll say, first of all, the only person first I want you to apologize, if you're going to do first of all, will be to ex-wife. That's the only person who I'll say you apologize first to.
I'm sorry, but you apologize to Symone.
You should apologize. And I never heard him say, as he took his time to say, first I want to apologize to Denise, who had called me a narcissist, unready to love, and I got all upset and said I was a narcissist. You were right. I was a narcissist. You didn't apologize to Symone,
your son,
who you have broken her heart, how many times she got to wait for you. This is after the woman has gotten rid of all your debt, helped you out, and the one thing she said she was not going to do, she wasn't going to follow behind him. If he tells her, hey, I went ahead and paid this bill and he didn't, that's on him. But she said, I'm not going to follow behind him like a child, oh, you got to pay this now, you got to pay this now. I have shown him the blueprint. I have given him the blueprint of how this is like almost like a financial advisor to him. But I'm not going to be your mommy and walk you along.
My
So
thing
I
is
was
with
really
this-
proud of Symone to say, something. I guess she gave him 2 years. Because like she also wants to have a child. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy like she walked away. And if I'm Symone, honey, I will not go back to him. I don't give a damn what he do. When he changed, let him change for himself and his son. But I will not, because even in his whole spiel that he gave, I still saw some undercurrent of some BS. And I really don't believe that this man going to truly change. I don't.
For me, I personally think him coming out and saying anything is very narcissistic. And it's embarrassing. I'm sorry, I don't actually want you to go to the internet to confess shit. No. What are you confessing? Who are these nobody strangers going to say or do for you? Mm-hmm. Why don't you just get in the effing foxhole and do what you need to do? Quietly. Why don't you do it quietly?
Yes.
Instead of coming out here, to me, it seems like it's a distraction. It's a procrastination. Because instead of you focusing on your finances, you have to focus on what the world has to say about your degeneracy. Mm-hmm. So it's just another, it's more time for you to waste instead of you actually just focusing on what you need to focus on. You didn't have to come tell us anything. I don't understand why people have to come and let the world know their business. Why don't you just focus? If you actually genuinely feel this way, why don't you put your damn bald-headed head down and focus on what's important?
And go do it. Like Nike said, just do it.
Just do it. It's like, I don't know why you're here telling me this. I'm shocked. I am. All I'm going to do is come talk about it on my show and try to come give you some advice. But that's all I can do. I can't go and send you $30,000. And even if I had it, I wouldn't go do that.
No.
I'll go spend it on myself.
So he's going to spend it on cars.
Hello? So I feel like this whole thing, it was just narcissistic for you even to come do that. So now you're also saying, look at how dumb Symone is. She's been here with me throughout all my debt. Don't go tell nobody what you got going on. Just do it. And let's have a happily ever after, if that's what she wants. Yeah. But I'm happy she moved on. She helped him. Yeah. You can't say this woman was like, oh, you broke and left. She's like, nobody can say that. No. Even if that was the case, I would not falter. I'm sorry.
She said, I did what Ayanla said for me to do, right? Like, I went... And I was with
I helped him build. I tried to get rid of his debts. And what does he do? Spits on me several times. Never had a wedding.
Come through at all. Now you is on YouTube talking about you want to be there for men because you know a lot of people who also live this way, who don't own their cars, don't own their houses.
If you know them, then why don't you get yourself together and be an inspiration to them?
He wants to be like Mary. You know Mary on Sister Wives. Where she want to be giving advice with her unhealed self, or Danae Jackson who want to go do a whole class. Let me teach you
how to deal with a cheater and infidelity. Right. I mean, she looking good though,
and how to empower women. And girl, you have not even healed. Rashid, you're just starting. Okay, confession is the first thing. Thank you very much
for
your confession.
To God.
That's great. But now we want to see the work. I don't want to see you out here try to advise no man. Only if you're trying to, I guess, get some money. I guess get some money from YouTube advising me. I guess. But there was no reason. The fact that he didn't apologize to Symone, talk about, I have lost a good woman. I've had good women. And I'm about to lose this woman because I have lied and all this stuff.
Was this a public plea? And then it's also manipulative because it's like now people are going to be underneath. It's going to be
manipulative to me. It sounded manipulative.
There's going to be people underneath her comment section talking about take him back. No, he's trying. He's confessed. All this bullshit.
And then the other thing too was the way he was saying it was not completely true because he was trying to insinuate. And people got that. Like, well, Symone, if you knew he was having all these financial problems, then why did you want to have this kind of wedding? And she was like, because it's like, first of all, the wedding was supposed to be even more expensive based on what he had wanted to do. And I'm the one who brought the wedding down to a budget that we can afford. Looking at his financial health, and the things that I have put in place for him to do, if he follows this scheme, he should be able to afford he's $10,000 portion. And she's like, and if we cannot, in our big age, afford this kind of, because I think it was a total of 30,000. The wedding cost $30,000. She's like, yeah, at our big age, if we individually cannot afford 10,000, then we don't need to be getting married, because I mean, $10,000 is not much. So, but if he had followed the scheme, if he had been responsible enough and followed the scheme, not taking on any other debt, he should have been able to afford the $10,000 at that particular time.
Yeah.
And he wasn't, because he took on more debt. He continued to lie, continued to be manipulative, continued to try to sell a good game. And he can talk a good game. I wonder if he's a Cancer. But he can talk a good game. Because Cancer men, they can really talk a good game. Not the women, the men. They can talk. Sagittarius men are the same thing too.
Oh yeah.
They could, and it's so funny because you have like the Cancer woman and the Sagittarius women. They're so well organized. They're so responsible. You know what I'm saying? But their counterparts, like the other gender, they're something else.
As a Cancer woman, I am ashamed about it.
They can talk a good game. Those Cancer and Sagittarius men, they can talk a good game, but they do not fulfill. Shit.
Yeah.
So
from a Cancer woman, I can definitely say that's very true. Yeah. We know quite a few of them.
It's kind of like,
and they're not really the
like
best
Gemini
of men. The
There's
Cancer
no
men.
way I'll ever date a Gemini man, because they're I mean, if you find a really good Gemini, they're amazing. But most of them are awful. Most Gemini men are awful people. They're charmers, but when you raise up that little pot, something else in there. It may smell good, but that food ain't that good.
Yeah, Cancer men, they'll talk. They'll talk an Eskimo into buying ice. That's how Cancer men are.
I like that. That's
yeah. but yeah.
So I mean,
it's just sad.
It was sad, but Symone, like she said,
at least she got out, because there's some women who will stay there 10 plus years.
I mean, she knows. Okay, because when we met her, she was what, 37.
Yeah.
So I guess she said to herself, "Look, I'm gonna give this fool 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him 2 years to see if he's gonna follow the blueprint." He didn't.
She's like, I gotta get the hell out of here,
like,
Jack.
I'm not, because I want to marry someone who has all his stuff. That's why, Symone, do not follow Ayanla Vincent about this. I follow her on some things, but not on this.
Definitely not relationships.
Do not marry below your station. And when you were with Rashid, he was below your station, because financially, he didn't have his stuff together at all. And so no matter what you did for him to clean up all that, his debt and all that, raise his credit score and all that, he still was not responsible. You just came in and just kind of mammied him a little bit, you know? It doesn't work. What Ayanla is saying, bring somebody to come build a bear.
Build a man.
And you feel like what, he is going to now become a man? No. Because there are parameters for a man. You know, like I told my son, 2 things that make you a man: self-control and keeping your word. And Rashid could not keep his word to save his life. He couldn't keep his word to save his marriage. He couldn't keep his word to keep his mama, his own mother, out of debt. He raised her debt. There are certain things that you don't I will never ask my parent to go co-sign for me for some house that's going to be another 30 years, because she's older.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's an older woman.
And what, they take her pension,
and
even when she's
take
dead.
Her house and all that stuff. And then you don't fulfill it. Now he's talking about he going to go sell the house now, and he's going to sell all his cars. You have no choice. You have no choice but to do all of that. And I'm sure then he'll file for bankruptcy, and he's going to start anew, a life that I'll be, fine with my lot in life, and a life that's not going to be lived on the expectations of others.
I think he did this really to free himself more than anything.
Manipulative. Next. Anywho, you guys get in the comments.
Yes, it's
Tell us what you think. I mean, did you think? Because let me tell you, I'm going to honestly be honest. I'm gonna keep it real.
Keep it real.
When I first heard him, my heart was like, oh. thank goodness we didn't talk about it.
Right
I
away.
took a little 2 weeks, and as I mulled on it, I said this fool was being manipulated.
I feel
This sounds like a
manipulated.
gambler. This sounds like a gambler. I was like, ooh. When he said I'm a narcissist, I'm like, you're not a narcissist. I'm telling you, I was there doing all of that. But thank God I did it in the back room before I came out here. But as the 2 weeks passed and I've been chewing on it and mulling on it, and then I listened to Symone, I said, this fool done manipulated me. And like you said, even what he did, coming out here and doing all of this.
That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
That's a narcissist, yes. And he's still doing the narcissist. I'm sure when Denise saw it, I'm sure Denise was like, he's still a narcissist.
No, she posted it on her Instagram. She posted it. She said, she had a video of when she said it. And then she said, 2 years later. And then it showed when he said, Denise, you are right. I am a narcissist. And he said, everything comes full circle. She got her moment. But you should have given a moment to apologize to the woman that you have hurt.
Who has been in the foxhole with you. Who's been holding you down.
But, also, I just want to say this.
I just let her know.
When a
I
man
can't afford
is
this
not...
wedding. As if she was here trying to not be patient with you. Trying to let the wedding be so whatever. And like she said, at your big age, if you cannot afford $10,000, yeah. That just means that, like, $10,000 for a wedding. If you cannot afford listen, if I was going to get married today, I am not going to have a $10,000 wedding, right? I'll have probably something really small, like very, very small. But the thing is, she looked at. I don't expect you to. You certainly will not.
No, I'm saying for you, I wouldn't. I
but
mean, like, this will be a new marriage. I will go all out. But I mean, that's
But what I'm just saying is, like, you have to, like, look at your own pocket and see what you can afford.
Yeah.
But my thing is, she has looked at your whole finances, right? And she has looked at it. She sees what you're bringing in. She has gotten rid of some of your debts, so you don't have to pay those anymore. That's been taken off your credit report. All of that she has done for you. And she has looked at it and says, okay, you should be by this time. Remember, it wasn't like right away, I need your $10,000 because she knows you don't have it in the bank. Right? Yeah. He even said like a week ago, both his accounts were negative.
Yeah.
Right? So so that just shows me that you still haven't learned anything. Yeah. If just a week ago, both your accounts were negative. You know? So I just feel like she did all of this stuff for you, and she says, okay, if you just follow this blueprint, you should be able to afford this $10,000 by such and such time, which was months in advance. And what did you do? Oh, I have relief from all these debts. Let me go take on more debts. Like an idiot. And then it doesn't pan out because you haven't really done your business plan well. So it doesn't pan out. And so now you can't pay what you're supposed to pay. But instead of being honest with her, you don't. You wait, months pass. You wait until a couple of days before you got to turn in your $10,000. I don't have it. But you had a $100,000 loan though. You could have taken $10,000 from the $100,000 loan that you took and just say, hey, here, this is my portion. Yeah. You didn't do that because that wasn't a priority. You went bought more cars, but didn't do what you're supposed to do with them to get that money back and then some. And he did this twice.
Well, let's just talk about that for a second. Because, personally, Symone was the second option. That's not who he wanted originally.
Oh, yes, that was the other girl. That's right, also, I forgot about that.
I believe when a man doesn't really want you, he does. When a man really wants you, we always say it. He'll move heaven and high earth to make sure that he is with you. The fact that he continuously broke her heart and spat on her, in a sense, goes to show me that he really probably did not really even want this. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yes, she's a good woman and all that stuff. But maybe
she's not for him.
He's not for him. Yeah, and it's not to say that she's not good enough, she's not worthy. Absolutely but that's not. Just not your partner in life. No. It's really not.
You're right.
And I feel like when
right about that. He had somebody else in mind that he had really wanted, not Symone.
And my thing is if when a man really wants you, before, like, he already has in his mind like where he wants to take this. Like Russell, he already knew Sierra was in line. Like he already knew who he wanted. So he set himself up for success with her. Yeah. He made sure he treated her right. He made
Yeah.
sure he came to her the right way. He didn't
Yeah.
come and play with her.
Yeah.
When a man is serious about you, he's not going to come and play about you.
No.
He's not.
No.
So I feel like that probably is also a culmination. It's not because Symone is not a phenomenal woman, but there's going to be a man who will come into her life
Yes.
and will check off all the boxes and will
Yes.
do the right thing by her.
Yeah, and provide, protect.
Yeah, and will not stress her out, will not
Yeah.
have her out here looking foolish.
Yep.
But
Can you
Rashid is
imagine
not the one for her, because
Having
if he
to
saw
call
Symone,
people and change your wedding dates after you've sent out invitations.
if Rashid knew in his mind that this is who he wanted and he genuinely wanted her, he would have been getting all his crap together before he even came to her to approach her.
That's so true.
When men want somebody, they make sure they do what they have to do, and you'll never have to ever question: does he love me?
Yeah.
Is he the right one for me? You'll never have to question when
Yeah.
a man really
Yeah.
is serious about you.
Yeah, you're at peace, and
You're at
obviously
peace.
she was not at peace in this relationship at all.
So he's not the one. So
Yeah.
like you said, don't even waste your time going back to that fool. Let him
Absolutely
be good
not.
for his son, and you keep that mother effer at a distance.
Yep.
Moving on.
Don't even be friends.
Don't even be friends.
So leave that brokey energy.
To the left, Tweety left. Everything you own in the box, Tweety left. Okay.
Everything that you don't own, give it back. Because obviously he ain't own shit.
Yeah. But we done spent 30 minutes on this, y'all. It's Mary. We invite y'all to like,
Oh, that crazy show, Ready to Love. Share
breaking more black
and
women's hearts.
comment.
Ready
and
to waste your time.
subscribe.